What does this then mean for education? Well, 2 paragraphs down, Dewey then makes an explicit connection to education and defines it for us. Quote, education, in its broadest sense, is the means of this social continuity of life. Unquote. Education is about the social continuity, right, of life. It's not primarily focused on the individual. Picking up the quotation again. Quote, every one of the constituent elements of a social group in a modern city as in a savage tribe is born immature, helpless, without language, beliefs, ideas, or social standards. Each individual, each unit who is the carrier of the life experience of the group, in time passes away, yet the life of the group goes on. Now notice how Dewey's focus is on the group, right, and the continuity of the group right across time here, but he defines the individual in terms of the group. What you are as an individual is, quote, the carrier of the life experience of the group. Right? You are a vehicle, right, through which the group lives. It's not primarily that you're an individual, right, with your own life, right, and so forth. You are part of a group. It is through you and all kinds of other individuals, more or less just like you, that the group carries on, right, across time here. And then carrying on in the next paragraph here, the purpose of education then is, quote, they must be initiated into the interests, purposes, information, use, skills, and practices of the mature members. Otherwise, the group will cease its characteristic life, right? We're concerned with the life of the group, and the reason why we're educating individuals is so that the group, right, can carry on, right, across time. All right, what does it then mean to have a group, right? What is it to be a group, and what is it to have a functioning group, and what should the individual's beliefs and actions be so that he or she is contributing appropriately in the group context here? All right, quotation, this is now skipping over a little bit here. Very strong quotation though, but what it is to be an individual properly in a social group. Quote, individuals do not compose a social group because they all work for a common end. Okay, I'm going to pause there. There are common ends. Suppose we have a number of individuals and they are all working toward that common end. It's not the case that every individual has his or her own ambitions, goals, pursuit of happiness. Rather, suppose we have a group in which individuals do have a common end and they're all working for that common end. Dewey is suggesting that's not enough yet to have a group in the proper sense here. Repeating that quote, individuals do not even compose a social group because they all work for a common end. And then carrying on the quote. The parts of a machine work with a maximum of cooperativeness for a common result, but they do not form a community. If, however, they were all cognizant of the common end and all interested in it so that they regulated their specific activity in view of it, then they would form a community. So ending the quote there for a moment and pausing. What Dewey is saying here is what we're striving for is not only everybody working for a common end, right? There's one set of common ends, everybody in a society should be working toward that, but that everybody should be consciously aware of that common end toward which they are working. Everybody should be interested in that one common end or that one set of common ends for society, and everybody as individuals should be regulating and directing their actions toward that common end. That's what it is to have a group, right, in Dewey's sense. That's what education is about. That's what we should be striving for. And he ends this paragraph with a fairly strong statement about the nature of group identity. Quote, consensus demands communication. Right, so communication here is the process of educating where one generation communicates its beliefs, its ways of doing things to the next generation who are then going to pick up the gauntlet, so to speak. But the standard that we're setting is very high here. It's not even a majoritarian standard. It is, in Dewey's language here, consensus. And consensus is everybody on the same page, everybody with the same beliefs, everybody regulating their actions with the same set of interests toward the same common communal goals. All right, that is why I am emphasizing this fact that while the pragmatists are broadly speaking naturalists, that's their orientation, as is the case with realists, that while the pragmatists are very science-friendly, as the realists tend to be very science-friendly, nonetheless, this value framework, the realists being much more individualistic, the pragmatists being much more social, community, even communalistically oriented, as we see in the Dewey passages here, that is a very deep divide, and that leads to many significant differences in educational practice, and that's what we will turn to in the next subunit.